Hi, everyone. It's Sandi with FEAR UNZIPPed. And today I wanted to share a story that I call a glitch in the matrix, because that's all that I can think that it was. It's a true story. It happened to me. It happened about 8 months ago. And there were 4 witnesses to it. Thank goodness, because I don't think anybody would believe this. And I can't wait to ask some of my guests what this was all about. It truly, to me, it's a glitch in the matrix. Something was awry. So this is what happened. I was meeting two friends for lunch at a really cute little French restaurant in my neighborhood. It's about a mile and a half from my home. And we were sitting outside, and I was wearing a hat. And I just really like hats, and I'm wearing this hat. And because it started to drizzle outside, but we are in an undercovered area. And we're eating lunch and we're having a great time. And it was one of my friend's birthdays. So I brought her a gift and she opened it, and I realized, oh my gosh, I forgot one part of this gift. I actually got her a sound bowl, and I forgot the instrument she needs to make the sound bowl work. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to run home since I live so close. I put my hat on, and there were two people that sat in the table right next to us. So we were very close. So they could hear our conversation and they could see me. And I put my hat on, and somebody commented, "Oh, that's a really cute hat." And I walked out and I went to my car, drove to my home, found the item that I had forgotten to give my friend, and drove back. This all took maybe 15 minutes. I get out of my car and it is drizzling outside, and I didn't bring my hat. So I thought, well, I must have left it at home because it wasn't in my car. But I carry lots of hats in my car because I really like them. So I had the same hat, just in a different color. So I put that hat on and I went to the restaurant, and I went outside and I sat down and I said, "You guys, I left my hat at home." And I went, What? And in the middle of the table, or to the side of where my two friends were sitting, was the original hat that I had put on. Now, 4 people saw me put that hat on. They even commented about the hat. I walked out of the restaurant, yet the hat was sitting on the table. And I asked my two friends if they noticed that the hat was there while I was gone. And they said, no, they didn't even see it. It was like it didn't even catch their eye, but it was definitely there when I got back to the table. Then the two people that were sitting next to us at a table that we didn't know went, "Oh my God, we saw you walk out with that hat on." So now I have two hats on the table because I had the second hat that I brought in that I was wearing. And we're sitting there looking at these two hats and going, what just happened? All that I could think about was it had to be a glitch in the matrix, because what else could that have been? I put the hat on. I walked out of the restaurant. People commented about it. I came back and the hat was still sitting at the table. I would love, love, love your comments about that. I would love to know if you experienced a glitch in the matrix. I'm sure some of you have. I started to Google stories about a glitch in the matrix, and there were all kinds of wild ones and some that were obviously not. They were fake. I could tell they weren't real. This was 100% real. And to this day, these two friends will call me and say, what was that? When they think of me, they think of the hat. So anyway, this is the hat. If you're watching on video, this is the hat that I wore out of the restaurant when I went home to get the gift. And this is the hat that I came back with. And this is just the same hat in a different color. But we ended up with both hats sitting on the table. I welcome your thoughts on this. This is something I have been wanting to ask some guests. on the podcast that would understand what happened. I found it fascinating. I found it exciting. And I also found it validating because I keep hearing about timelines, that we have all these different timelines going on at the same time. And I really wonder about that. And many, many people talk about that we're doing one thing in this timeline, we're doing one thing in another timeline. We're in a relationship in one timeline, we're single in another timeline, but they're all happening simultaneously. For some reason, I think there were two timelines that kind of collided. I don't know the answer. I actually have no idea what the answer is. So this is something else we will be exploring on Fear Unzipped. We have so many things to uncover on this podcast. I'm so excited about. I've interviewed several people. Really looking forward to sharing these with you. Please feel free to send messages, leave your stories at www.fearunzipped.com. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. This is a place for sharing, so I really want to hear your stories. And if you have a question for guests, then please leave them. And then if it's appropriate for the guests that I'm going to have on, I am going to certainly ask your question. And if you want your name said with the question, that's great. If you want it anonymous, that's great. Any way that you want it, this is your space. We're going to do this together. So that is my story, Sandi Serling's story about her glitch in the matrix. Can't wait to hear some of yours. I'm sure you have them. And I want your thoughts about it. What do you think happened? Love that I had 4 witnesses, though. Thanks for joining me. I'll be talking to you again soon and sending lots and lots of love to all of you. Mwah.